And do I have Dr. Paul Williams with me?
I am here, Cheryl.
Hooray! Okay, well, we'll get started, everyone. And so welcome to our call. As you can tell, we're worldwide. I heard people from Australia and Hawaii and all through Canada and the U.S. And tonight we also have one or two joining us from England. So I still congratulate you all on your commitment to your own excellence and for the amazing hours that you keep around the world to be with us. So let me just start out tonight by introducing myself. My name is Cheryl Cortese. I'm a National Marketing Director with the Juice Plus Company, and I've had that honor and privilege and great prosperity and great happiness of being with this company now for 29 years. I'm going into that 30th year, and the adventure is amazing and only gets better all the time. So it's a wonderful place to be, and as you know, we've been meeting like this now. It's well over 26. We may be into the 27th year and have never missed a Monday night. So that's really congratulations to all of you and to your guests and to this commitment you have to really make a difference for people from a health standpoint, as well as bringing not only good nutrition but prosperity to others. So tonight, as usual, we're going to have someone with us that we love that is going to give you great information. But to give you a little background on the company itself, the Juice Plus Company actually started, well, let's see, it would be now 1970. It would make it, 47 years at this point. And we entered the marketplace with a product that I'm sure you're all familiar with today. We were actually the company that invented and introduced smoke detectors to the home. And that was quite successful, to say the least, and really set the pace for an amazing future. Over the years, diversifying, the company went into water filtration and air filtration products in the early 80s, extremely successful there, multi-billion-dollar product lines, and I guess it's been, let's see, it was 1992, so we're nearly 25 years now into the Juice Plus product. We entered that field of health technology a quarter of a century ago now, and really that's been the amazing find, I think not only of last century, but this one as well, not only for our own health and well-being, but for the people we love and those that we come across on a daily basis. So it's exciting to work alongside each and every one of you, and it's wonderful that every Monday night we have people that come and bring their knowledge and expertise to us, not only to help us understand what we have and how to go about sharing it, but how blessed we are that people do come to us and give us that information, that knowledge, and education along the way. And tonight, someone who is very dear to all of our hearts is going to share with you, and it's our special speaker is Dr. Paul Williams. Dr. Paul Williams is a graduate of West Virginia University School of Medicine. After completing his residency and entering private practice, he moved to Atlanta, Georgia, where he practiced emergency medicine for over 20 years. Dr. Williams has served as a physician for several athletic teams and events, including the United States International Roller Hockey Team and 1996 Summer Olympics, and he currently resides in Memphis, Tennessee. And if there's any go-to person for me for anything that I feel like I need to know, as far as our product, or he's just one of the most generous-hearted, loving people with, I think, the greatest brain as far as really knowing about what we do in relation, our product in relation to our health and well-being is Dr. Williams. So tonight he's going to talk to you about what food got to do with it. And really, as you know, Juice Plus is a whole food, and nobody better to talk about it than Dr. Paul Williams. So, Dr. Williams, your turn.
Cheryl, thank you very much. Good evening to everyone. I appreciate the chance to talk about this. And with respect to that title of good health, what's food got to do with it? Well, it's got a lot more to do with it than many, many people realize. Now, pretty much everyone on this call knows this. Knows it's got something to do with it, but a lot of people just do not get the connection. And the connection is based on the fact that the human body has a tremendous inherent capacity to stay well and healthy throughout life. It has the capacity to minimize, control, or even often heal problems that do occur, and to prevent what hasn't happened yet if we take good care of it. And taking good care of it obviously has to include giving it the right sustenance, the right nutrition. This is where a lot of people have a gap in their knowledge, though, because they don't understand, have never learned that the right nutrition must include plenty of nutrition that we find only in the foods that we get from plants. Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, berries, beans, etc. A wide variety of foods is important because different foods have higher concentrations of different nutrients. And it turns out that that nutrition is much more extensive and complex than we ever realized. We've always known that those foods were good for us, but nobody ever really thought to look at them to see why. It was only about 25 years ago, the early 1990s, that food scientists actually began to look at what was in these plant foods. And the general term I use is fruits and vegetables, and that really is talking about all of these different foods, just to find out what was in them that was so good for us. And it turns out that there are many, many more substances in these foods than I think anybody thought. These substances are called, the real name would be phytochemical. Phyto just means it's in a plant, and chemical just means it's a substance. But the term chemical is frightening to a lot of people. So somebody coined the term phytonutrient, meaning a nutrient found in a plant. They're also called micronutrients to indicate just how tiny the amount is of each one of them. And this is where part of the power comes from this. To date, the list of identified phytonutrients in fruits and vegetables is over 27,000 long, and they're still counting. And the other part of the concept of this nutrition, and we term it whole food nutrition, the other part of this concept is that we don't need a large amount of any one of those every day. We need a tiny bit of everything, just the way it is provided to us in the food. Micronutrients, micrograms of each one, for instance. But it's the synergistic effect of having them all together that is so powerful for us. This is how the body knows how to use this nutrition. In our typical way of thinking, we tend to come to the conclusion that, well, if a tiny bit of something is good for me, a whole lot of it will be even better for me. And that is just not the case. That is proving to be not the case. And not only that, not only can your body not use large amounts of a few things in place of tiny amounts of thousands of things, there is good research now that raises a very serious concern about the safety of even some of our best known nutrients like vitamin C and vitamin E. So we're back to needing a little bit of everything. This is how our bodies know how to use this nutrition, and this is the way they must be supplied with this nutrition. One way in which we understand how this nutrition is really effective for us involves a process called oxidative stress. All that means is that when we take in oxygen, and oxygen is used by the cells to produce energy, there are little byproducts left over called free radicals. These are a normal part of our metabolism, and we need a few of them, but we get in trouble when there are too many. For anybody with a science background, a free radical is a little particle that is missing an electron. It's an unstable particle of oxygen. There are some of nitrogen as well, and they interact with anything in the body that they touch, whether it's the wall of a cell, contents in a cell like the mitochondria or the DNA, substances in the bloodstream, the covering over a nerve called the myelin sheath that must be healthy for that nerve to function normally. Any cell, any tissue, any organ is susceptible to this interaction. And that interaction with these other substances is damaging to that substance. This chemical reaction is called oxidation. The most common example in our everyday world is rust. When metal rusts, it's being oxidized. When you cut an apple and leave it on the counter for a while and it turns brown, it's being oxidized. This damaging oxidation is occurring in the body. And the more of it that is occurring, or the greater the rate at which it is occurring, the more problems we get into. Number one, we age faster. Aging just means wearing out. And the more oxidative stress that's occurring, the faster the organs and the tissues are wearing out, the faster you're aging.
You don't want that aging thing to happen.
No, we don't. And the more oxidative stress that's occurring, the higher the risk of illness and disease, and the less our bodies can deal with the problems that do occur. So obviously, it would be a good idea to keep this process to a minimum. Unfortunately, we do a lot of things that increase it. Smoking is at the top of the list. Cigarette smoking in particular produces a tremendous excess of free radicals, and this is why so many smokers look so much older than they really are, and they have a higher risk and rate of occurrence of many different diseases. The other thing that increases oxidative stress that doesn't sound like it ought to be harmful to us initially is exercise, intentional physical activity with a goal of getting in better shape, weight management, increasing your strength, your stamina, endurance, whatever. We know we must exercise to be healthy. How can that also hurt us? Well, look what's happening when you do exercise, whether it's a long walk or a run, riding a bike, playing a sport, or work out at the gym. All of that is increased muscle activity, and the muscles need more energy. So therefore, we breathe harder and our hearts beat faster to deliver more oxygen to the muscle cells, which they use to create more energy, but at the same time, they also produce more free radicals. And the point is that without the proper protective nutrition, exercise also ages us faster and increases our risk of problems. There are many long-distance runners, for instance, who look much older than they really are. They've done all that running without the right protective nutrition. And that protective nutrition is thousands of these phytonutrients that have the capacity to function as what are called antioxidants. They are anti that oxidation reaction. They interact with, working together, by the way. You have to have them all. They have to work together to neutralize the free radicals before they can cause the damage that increases our aging and our risk of illness and disease. So we've got to have this. And back to our tendency to take big doses of a few things. Vitamin C and vitamin E are very powerful antioxidants, for instance. But you cannot reduce oxidative stress by taking large doses of those nutrients. It just won't work. You've got to have a little bit of everything. So by this point in time, I hope it's starting to become clear that it would be a good idea to get a lot more of this plant-based nutrition into your body. The obvious way to do that would be to eat a lot more fruits and vegetables than most people eat. The current recommendation is an average of 10 servings a day of fruits and vegetables. A serving is an amount of food about the size of one's fist. Smaller for a child, obviously, but still that same number of servings. Most Americans fall in the 0 to 2 range, and no more than about 15% of us eat even 5 servings a day. So we are way, way behind on our intake of whole food nutrition. And even if you do change your diet and start to include a lot more fruits and vegetables in it, there are a couple other problems that come about or that get involved here. It's not just that many servings a day of any old fruits and vegetables you can find. They must also be fresh and raw. Raw obviously means uncooked. That's important because heat can damage many nutrients. I don't think you have to eat everything raw. When you can, it's a good idea. And when you can, cook your vegetables less than usual. Steam them perhaps. Leave them a little bit crunchy. They would be more nutritious. But a bigger problem is the adjective fresh. Fresh means ripened on the plant and just recently picked. That's a huge problem for most Americans because most people don't have a garden. Their backyard's not growing anything but grass, if that, and they have to depend on grocery stores to supply their produce. Now, certainly let me talk more about that for a second. Most of the produce in our grocery stores has been picked green in order to keep it from spoiling. Why is that important? It's important because these tens of thousands of phytonutrients form in the food as part of the ripening on the plant process. Now, the inorganic nutrients, the minerals, come from the soil, but the organic nutrients, all of these phytonutrients, form in the food as part of the ripening on the plant process. And when you pick a food green, you stop the formation of all of that nutrition. Those foods in the grocery store are never going to be any more nutritious than they were the moment they were picked. Now, thankfully, in many areas of the country, more locally grown produce is available now than used to be at farmers markets and in-season roadside stands. And that food is, in general, left on the plant longer, so it will taste better, have more taste, and therefore you'll come back and buy more of it from the farmers. But that also means it's more nutritious. So when you can buy locally grown produce, that is a really good thing to do. But the situation that most Americans find themselves in is they are eating fewer than 5 servings a day, and what they do eat was not ripened on the plant and has been cooked. That means they are tremendously deficient in whole food nutrition. And this gap in our diet is where Juice Plus comes into the picture. Juice Plus is now 24 years old, and it is the phytonutrition from 30 of our most nutritious fruits and vegetables and berries, all of which are grown on farms and orchards that are contracted to or owned by the parent company. It's not somebody's job to start looking for apples every Monday morning. We know where all of the produce is coming from. We know how the soil is treated. We know how the plants are treated. The food is all ripened on the plant, harvested at the peak of its ripeness, which means its maximum possible nutrient content. And shortly thereafter, it's put through a mashing process, and then the water is removed in a rapid low temperature process that leaves behind a powder that is put in capsules and in a chewable gummy. There are 2 reasons that this can work. Number one is Juice Plus does not contain large amounts of the macronutrients that take up a lot of space, protein, fat, and carbohydrate. It's micronutrients. They're in microgram amounts. And second, any piece of produce that you look at, whether it's something you think of as juicy like an orange or something you think of as not very juicy like carrots, they're all on average 90% water. And when you take all of that water out, you're just not left with very much space occupying material. That's how this is doable. I've been taking Juice Plus for 21 years now, and even with being a vegetarian for much longer than that, Juice Plus has had a significant positive impact on my health. But that doesn't prove that it's going to do that for any one other person. I have talked with thousands of people who have seen a positive impact, and still that's not clear proof for anyone who's wondering about this as to whether or not it might help him or her. The real reason I can tell someone whose diet does not contain enough whole food nutrition that Juice Plus will effectively and positively help fill in that gap is because of the research that has been completed on people who are taking Juice Plus. To date, we are well over 30 published studies, and very basically some of the things we know from this research are as follows. Number one, this nutrition is bioavailable. All that means is that when you put this powder and some water into your gut, these nutrients are very easily absorbed into the bloodstream to be delivered to every part of the body. This is shown by measuring blood levels of nutrients before and after taking Juice Plus. Juice Plus does not have to be digested because it's not the whole food anymore. It's the bare nutrients from the food just ready to be absorbed. We know that Juice Plus reduces the amount of that free radical damage, that oxidative stress that's occurring. And it reduces it in people who are doing their best to increase it. 2 studies on smokers have shown a decrease in the amount of free radical damage in these folks, even while they're still smoking. And 3 studies on high-level athletes who are increasing their oxidative stress by their athletic participation. And again, Juice Plus reduces the free radical damage in those folks. We know that Juice Plus has a very positive impact on the immune system. Without enough of this nutrition, the immune system is underactive and the different parts of it are out of balance with each other. This leads to an increase in the risk of infection and of autoimmune diseases, as well as a risk of hyperactive results, or rather the results of a hyperactive immune system like allergies and asthma. Juice Plus brings underactive components back up to a normal level of function, restores the normal balance among the different components as well. We know that Juice Plus reduces inflammation in the body. Good inflammation or acute inflammation is something you want. This is the initial stage of a healing process when you sustain an injury like a bee sting or a burn or a laceration, or in an illness like tonsillitis. The redness and pain and swelling and fever are part of that acute inflammatory start to the healing process. But chronic, undetectable inflammation is going on in many people, and this increases the risk of a lot of problems, including heart disease. And Juice Plus reduces the amount of that is occurring. We know that Juice Plus has a very positive impact on the health of the skin, increasing the microcirculation to the skin, meaning that the tiniest little arteries are functioning better, delivering better blood flow to the skin, and therefore better oxygen levels and better nutrition. And this results in an increase in the density and the thickness of the skin and the hydration of the skin. It is now a better protective covering for the body and is going to be healthier. My own skin health experience has been that even being as fair-skinned as I am, I don't sunburn nearly as easily as I used to. Any of you who have children will likely remember that when they were babies and you fed them a lot of strained carrots and squash, they turned orange. Those are the protective carotenoid antioxidants from many vegetables. And any of us taking Juice Plus likely have a bit of an orange tint to the skin, and that is protective. There are many other studies that have been done and published. There are many underway now, and we will likely hear a little more about some of them at our upcoming conference in California next week. But clearly, the research shows that this gets into the body and the body can use it to do what it knows how to do to improve the chance of a person staying healthy. Many people tend to think that taking good care of themselves means that when something goes wrong, go to the doctor and get the right prescription medication. Certainly medications are tremendously helpful in many instances, necessary in many instances, and can indeed be life-saving. But medications are all foreign substances to the human body. The body's never seen these things. There's nothing in fruits and vegetables, and therefore in Juice Plus, that the human body doesn't know and doesn't know what to do with. The difference between medications and nutrition is that medicines do things to you, and nutrition does things for you, giving the body the substances it must have in order to carry out that inherent process of staying well and healthy. There are several things I like to point out as well. One is that a person will never be as healthy as he or she could be without enough whole food nutrition. There is just no way around that point. It will never happen. If health problems have occurred, there are no health problems that cannot be at least helped by better nutrition, and they will all continue to get worse without it. Your body never forgets how to use this nutrition to deal with problems that have occurred, and it never forgets how to prevent what hasn't happened yet. The recommendation currently is an average of 10 servings a day of fresh, raw fruits and vegetables. Can you do that? Have you been doing that? If you have not been doing that, then you have already proven how well you're going to do without enough of this nutrition. Wouldn't you like to find out how good you can be when you give yourself more of it? Some people do get concerned about the cost of things like this. I really like to point out that there are very few free things to us, and that the cost of prevention is far less than the cost of having to deal with a lifetime of diabetes or heart disease or cancer. When you take into consideration not only the financial cost, but the emotional and physical cost of a chronic disease, the difference is very, very clear. So please take a look at your own whole food nutrition intake, that of your family. If you know you're just not going to be able to do this with diet, please talk to the person who invited you to listen into the call tonight and make arrangements to start adding this nutrition to your diet. It will have a positive impact. It is proven to do so in the research. And when you start putting this into your body, good things are going to happen. You can't keep them from doing so. Cheryl, I'm going to stop there.
I loved it, Paul. I mean, for everybody on the line, how lucky we are that we have someone like Paul Williams. There's nobody who knows more about Juice Plus, I can assure you, than he does. And, you know, he's really been such an amazing support to all of us as far as our own acquisition of knowledge about this. I think one of the things I appreciate so much, not just that my body has had this, been able to have this Juice Plus for nearly 25 years now. We're into that 25th year, but that there was so much that comes along with it as far as information. I mean, just like tonight, how amazing that someone could so simply, you know, share with you what food does and how powerful it is. And every time I hear it, you know, and you know, Paul, how long have you been now with us with Juice Plus? And he was, you know, company doctor to, you know, the people at corporate. He really is wonderful in being supportive of us, all of us in the field with knowledge and information. But you've been with us how long now?
Well, I've been a customer 21 years. I've been connected to the company in one way or another for 19.
Yeah, so all those years, every time I hear him talk about this or tell the story, it excites me all over again because you know what you're doing for yourself, what you have to offer other people, how amazing it is. And I really am so thankful because not only do I feel like it, and I know that it has totally given me my edge as far as my own health and well-being, but also for my family, my children, my grandchild. You know, it really just gives you that edge so that you can handle whatever you have to handle in the world as far as health and well-being. and then be able to share and do that for others. So, we're very blessed with this. As someone said, I heard recently, fruits and vegetables and berries, and that's pretty much here to stay. And that's not going to become an outdated idea, in the future. And we're just so blessed to have this to make that